You got me?
We got you, Coach. You will
Okay.
begin with a question from Lauren Williams.
Hi, Quinn. I'm just kind
Hey,
of
Lauren.
curious. Hey, just curious, what have you seen of what occurred with Dejounte Murray and the official at the end of yesterday's game? And have you had any conversations with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw the clip. So same thing everybody else has seen. And Dejounte and I did talk prior to and recently after we got the news that he was going to be suspended.
Go to Zach Klein.
Hey Q, do you think
Hey,
Tatum
Zach.
are suspended as well? It seems like he got into a little bit of a minor altercation as well with the same referee in the third quarter.
Yeah, honestly, I'm worried about the things that we can control. That's a question for the league. I think any time players get suspended, particularly in the postseason, you have to move forward, accept it, and figure out how to manage it and still be competitive and try to win.
Jeff Schultz.
Hey, Quinn.
Hey, Jeff.
In your view, after you've seen the clip, was the suspension justified? And then also, will Bogey start tomorrow night?
I think, to be honest, Jeff, I don't have a context or a frame of reference relative to those types of decisions. And, again, that's why, the league's in the position they're in to make those evaluations. So with respect to start tomorrow, who starts, I'm not sure. I would normally, I think historically when, one of those guards has been out, you can start another guard. You can go big. You can, I think we just found this out. So, we need to meet as a staff and talk about it and see, what makes the most sense for us relative to, our opponent, Boston, matchups, all those things. So it impacts your rotations as well as just who's starting as well. So we got to look at that.
Zach Klein.
What was Dejounte? Why was he so frustrated? Why was he? I guess his emotions get the better of him. And is this just an ultimate teaching opportunity where you can't do this to your teammates in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dejounte recognizes his part in the situation, and that's just not something you can do. I think you'd have to ask him directly. As far as what had transpired previously, I think there was frustration with over the course of the game that built up, and he didn't handle it the way that he needs to. And he knows that. We talked about it. But again, I think you'll have to ask him more specifically. I don't want to speak for him. And, with respect to that.
Lauren Williams.
Hey, Quinn, was Dejounte with you guys in Boston when the news came out about the suspension?
Yeah, he was, we were waiting like everybody else to find out what the result would be. And, when we got to the hotel, he and I, had a chance to meet, quickly after we found out. We didn't find out till fairly recently.
And I'm guessing he's going to head back to Atlanta since he won't be able to be at the game.
I'm not sure how that works exactly. I know he'll want to stay to the extent that he's, allowed to do that. Whether he can, attend the game, I think is in my recollection is you can't attend the game if you're suspended. But I don't, I wouldn't advocate us sending him home. He'll want to watch the game and be with his teammates and, be part of everything that he can be a part of. That's who he is as a player and a person.
We'll go to Justin Felder.
Hey, Quinn, just simply, what kind of challenge will this be for the rest of the team winning in a difficult place without a guy who's been so critical all season and here in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think beating Boston in the Garden in the situation we're in right now, I think we all know is a challenge in and of itself. It's just something that, I think the entire group has to absorb. As you mentioned, Dejounte, not just, in the series, but over the course of the year has been, a real important part of what our team does. And, I think we've got to figure out, we've got to understand that, contributions are going to have to come from, a number of different players across the board. I don't think, you can plug and play in a situation like this. So everybody's got to do their part.
Next up, Brad Rowland.
I know obviously Dejounte does a lot of things for you, but where do you anticipate missing him the most? Obviously that's hard to narrow down, but I know you haven't looked at it yet, but being without him, is it the scoring punch? Like, what do you miss the most not having Dejounte?
I think you prefaced the question, the close to my answer is that, it's hard to nail down because he contributes in a lot of ways, defensive matchups, creating shots for other people, being able to score, both, generally throughout the game and also in, timely situations. He's shown that he can do that. So as far as how to manage that and deal with it, as I said, there'll be some things that we'll look at that I think, given the personnel that we have, and adjust to the extent that we need to or can there. And then as much as anything, I think, our mindset has to be one that we need to control what we can control. That as unfortunate as this is, we've got a game to play tomorrow, and, our season's on the line. Our guys recognize that. We didn't play at the level that we'll need to, last night. And, again, just, I think it's important for us to move forward and get our minds in the right place. And I think, that happens, that will be the case. Be ready to go and, try to win the game.
Final question goes to Terrell Thomas.
Hey, Coach, I know you said already that you've had an opportunity to speak to Dejounte. Has Dejounte had an opportunity to speak with his team and speak with his teammates? And have you had an opportunity to speak with the team and kind of let the guys know what you'll expect from them in the absence of one of their leaders?
No, we haven't. We literally just found out, and, everything. I'm sure Dejounte is talking to his teammates, as we speak. I doubt that, there isn't a team meeting that we've scheduled for tonight. We may do that. I doubt it. I think everybody will know what's happened, and if there's reason to address it more, in a more immediate way, I will. But as it stands right now, that communication is occurring, and we'll certainly talk about it when we get together at whatever point we decide to meet tomorrow, shoot around before the game, whatever the case may be. But it'll be addressed and communicated. But as I said, I don't, people, I'm certain, are aware of it as we speak, but we just got the news, so there hasn't been a chance to say anything to anyone yet.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate you I feel like I'm back in COVID. All right. See you.